Alright guys, I think I finally found it. The best build for the M4A1. The M4A1 might just be one of the best weapons in Battlefield 6. This gun absolutely melts, and in this video I'm going to show you two builds that take it to the next level. One build is focused on recoil control, making it super easy to handle, and the other one is a personal setup, built around insane hipfire power of this weapon. And if you enjoy the content, make sure to subscribe. We're getting really close to 250,000 subscribers, and it honestly means a lot. Let's hit that milestone together. I got some clips to show how good the M4A1 is, and then we'll get into the builds. The M4A1 is one of those weapons that feels unfair to fight against. When you get killed by it, it's like you didn't even have time to react. That's how fast this thing kills. It plays almost like a submachine gun with crazy mobility and lightning fast time to kill, but it also packs a great range potential. With smart tap firing, you can laser enemies from a far distance because the damage holds up well even at long range. You gotta be smart though with tap firing, and it takes a bit time to learn, but once you get the hang of it, the M4A1 is basically good at any range. After spending a lot of time testing attachments and experimenting with setups, I realized there's something special about the M4A1, and if you've been watching the gameplay in the background, you probably noticed it too. The hipfire accuracy is insane. In Battlefield 6, hipfiring is a huge advantage because it lets you stay mobile. You can strafe, peek corners, and react quickly while still landing shots. Combine that with the M4A1's insane time to kill, and you've got a weapon that can almost win any gunfight at close or even mid-range. So let's get into the builds. The two build setups I'm showing today are the results of a ton of testing and tweaking, and I think I've come up with what might be the best overall setups for the M4A1 right now. So here we have it, the first build on the M4A1. It is the Hipfire build. It's the build that I by far use the most, and I think it's the most fun to use. However, if you do not like hipfiring in Battlefield 6, even though I recommend you to learn it because it's a very useful tool in Battlefield 6, hipfire accuracy is insane when you use the right builds. If you do not like it, I recommend the second build. It's more built around that recoil control and much easier to handle than this one. But if you're an aggressive player, give this one a go. I think you're gonna like this one. Starting off with these sights, we're starting off with the Mini Flex 1x. Go with one of the 1x scopes. I also like the OSA 7 1x, and the Mini Flex, this one just takes up a little bit too much from the screen. The iron sight is quite good, and I did enjoy the 1P87 1.5. If you go with any of the higher zooms, the visual recoil is going to be too bad, and it's going to be hard to hit your shots. Also, most of your gunfights are going to be within 40 to 50 meters, so going with the higher zooms is a little bit pointless. I definitely enjoyed using one of the red dot sights. Going with the laser, this is an important one for that good hipfire build. It is the green laser. The only cost of this is that the enemy player is able to see this. You can also go with a blue laser if you like to strafe around a lot more, because it improves that accuracy, but you don't have the full hipfire build that I am recommending right now. Keep in mind with these lasers that they are visible, so when you're peeking around corners, it can actually be useful to point your gun against the wall and not in the openness around the corner so the enemy team can see it. This is quite a disadvantage to have, because players can anticipate you peeking corners and can be ready to shoot you. Even with the fast time to kill of the M4A1, you put yourself at a disadvantage. And especially with a fast TTK game like Battlefield 6, having a good reaction speed is quite important. Going with the barrel is the 11.5-inch Commando. One of the barrels that improves that hipfire accuracy as well. Keep in mind though, this reduces the projectile velocity, and you'll start to notice that. You will start to notice that with this gun. With that medium range, if you're trying to shoot players that are moving, you actually have to start leading your shots already a little bit. You can get used to it, and for longer range targets, if they're not moving, you can still tap fire. Then it doesn't really matter if you have a fast or a slow projectile speed. But when they're strafing, it does become a little bit of a challenge to hit them. Keep that in mind, but for that good hipfire accuracy, this is definitely the barrel to go with. Now there's two options for the grip. You have the alloy vertical or the ripped vertical. The ripped vertical is if you do not strafe at all. So if you're shooting, ADSing, and you strafe to left or right while shooting, then the ripped vertical is gonna cost that accuracy. So that's why I use the alloy vertical, because I like to strafe. If you stand still while shooting most of the time, the ripped vertical is gonna be great, because then you're actually gonna have more recoil control. But you definitely lose a bit of mobility, which is noticeable on this build. Then with the mag, I went with the 40 round extended mag. Going with the 30 fast is also good. So those are the two options I would recommend. The 36 round is okay, but you have that slow reload speed. And that's why I kind of like to either go with the 30 fast or get a solid 10 extra bullets with the 40 round, which should be good for 3, 4, sometimes even 5 kills. Then I use the standard FMJ rounds. The other rounds improve the recoil, which is not good. The recoil control on this build is already not the greatest, so wouldn't recommend making that worse. And then to the final attachments is the mag catch, slightly improving that reload speed, putting it only at 2 seconds, which is pretty decent. So we have the second build, which is built a little bit more around the recoil control of the weapon. Still quite a bit of recoil, but it should allow you to pick up players from mid-range a lot better. And the bullet speed is quite a bit faster, so you should be able to track players and not have to lead your shot as much. Going with the sight, we use the 1.75 times zoom. If you haven't tried this one, it's one of the cleanest sights in the game. And with that nice little extra amount of zoom, you should be able to pick up players from mid-range a lot better. Then we have the laser. Now there is a little bit of a choice you have to make here, and both choices are honestly very good. If you're in the close quarter maps, go with the green laser. It is visible to the enemy, but the hipfire improves quite a bit extra. The red laser is not visible to the enemy team, so it also improves that hipfire a little bit, but it's just not visible. More recommended for the longer range maps. Then going with the muzzle, we have the double E port brake, improving that recoil control as well. Then we have the barrel, the standard 12.5 mid, just improving that ADS speed. The ADS speed on this build is extremely fast. Then we have the stubby grip. This costs 30 points, but it moderately reduces that recoil. So this is a very important one to have that extra amount of recoil control. You'll start to notice a huge difference when you use the stubby grip. Then we have the 36 round mag. This is a little bit of a hard choice. You can also go with the 15 round mag, then you have 5 points extra to spend somewhere else. But the 36 round mag, only 5 extra points, and that extended mag allows you to have a couple of extra rounds to take out players from that mid range as well. Then we have the lightweight one, improving that ADS speed. And then we have the mag catch. Important to know with this build is that it is still really good aggressive. It just gives that little bit of an extra recoil control to it if you struggle with the recoil control on the M4A1. Keep in mind, 900 rate of fire, so that recoil is still going to be there. I wouldn't recommend going with targets above, let's say 60-70 meters, unless they're not moving and you can tap fire, because that zoom still allows to see those players pretty clearly. But the rate of fire and the recoil on this weapon, it can get quite tough. That's gonna be it for the M4A1 video. Hopefully this video was useful. If you're enjoying the weapon guides, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, because I'll be posting these as much as I possibly can. I'm trying to max out the weapon before I give you guys the proper build, so I've really tested all the attachments properly. I got a couple more kill streaks for you guys to enjoy, and then I hope to see you in the next video.